arguing and just stand still. Alright? Stand still. I'm going to start filming in a minute. I want you looking your best. Come on now. You're a mess. That's what you are. And you're blocking Arnie's face. Come on, get out of the way now. What's going on there? Right, we're going to start filming in. Oh! Hey, folks. Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? Hope you're doing very, very well. Look at the odd angle I've managed to get this at. All because I wanted to set these guys up so they were all in the frame. It's a nice big sort of presentation with me sort of edged in. But the laws of physics and cinematography have conspired to derail me yet again. But I'm not going to start this all over again, so we're stuck with it for now. Folks, I did a video on the Predator scout ship, which you see at the start of the film Predator, the classic film Predator, and from NECA, the god of these things, you know, action figures primarily, but they did a line of sort of vehicles from the movies as well, cine machines, and of course in so showing you that, it got me right back into Predator all over again. Oh, there's no stopping me now. I've seen it 3 times since I did that video, and that was only the other day. And I want to watch it again as soon as I've done this. But it got me thinking. It got me to thinking, well, what other stuff have I got from Predator? I mean, you've seen the great big knife. Now that's a knife. And you've seen the masks and that, which I've got. But I've got quite a few figures as well. And of course, as usual, whenever I try to find things to show you, they're lost in the labyrinthine trophy rooms and dungeons and banquet halls and libraries of Kilt Mansion. And of course, a lot of them are probably cloaked, so I can't find them anyway. Pesky predators. But I found this bunch, and in a way it's probably quite good because some of these are actually really old ones from like the first couple of lines that they ever did. And they're all kind of busted up and broken, you know, which is perhaps adds to it a little bit. I do look after these figures, I do, but I've got so many things that they've been moved around left, right and centre that inevitably bits have got lost, bits have fallen off, bits have become wobbly, a bit like myself. Oh. Yeah, it's only tea, because it's breakfast time, and Mrs. Kilt-Man's locked away the whiskey. I'm only thinking of your liver, she said. Yeah. Anyway, so what have we got here? What have we got here? Well, first of all, I'm going to show you this unusual one, which is not actually NECA. I think this guy is from Kenner. I don't know. I've looked all over him to try and find some kind of brand name and trademark, and I can't find one. But I seem to remember that Kenner did a series of these guys, and no, it's fairly standard. He's unmasked, his plasma caster's there, lots of armour, bit on the blingy sort of side. He's got a lot of gold going on there, but he's it's very well detailed for the smaller figure. What your 4.5 inch, 4.5 inch, maybe 6 inch figure, 4.5 inch. Let's call it 4.5 inch. And articulation, well, there's not much going on there, folks. That's it. But he does stand up pretty well, and and it's not bad, is he? He's in full snarl effect. He's clearly one ugly motherfucker, and I kind of like it, which is obviously why I bought it. So there's the little Kenner one, and I know that they were doing blister packs with sort of other figures as well involved in it, so that's all I ever got. Now, let's go with this guy. No, let's go with this guy. Now, as I say, these are the older ones, so the articulation is not that great, and the detail is fabulous, but they're very rigid. Now, their feet, this is pretty much across the board for this one and this one. The one over there. I mean, the feet do swivel. You've got knee joints, and you've got a sort of thigh joint as well, a thigh swivel. But waist-wise, hip-wise, nothing. All this area here, don't get excited, is just totally rigid. And that's not just because I stroked my finger across him. Arms, yeah, they do come out, there is a sort of bicep swivel, an upper arm swivel, and you know, forwards and backwards, up and down, both sides, laughing. Your plasma caster, all it does really, it just goes up and down, up and down. There's no, oh hang on, well make a light out of me, why don't you? It does actually swivel a little bit. Oh, I wonder if you can hook it down. Well, you can bring it back down like that. If I was a Predator, I'd advise against doing that in case it went off and blew your arsehole off. But yeah, oh yeah, it does. There's a fair bit of swiveliness to that. It's all right, isn't it? And there it is. There's all the doobies on the back, the armour, the mask, the hunter mask. Lots of scarring and weathering on that. I like that. We have sort of chrome doodads. He's got one of those discs there, and another one there. In fact, I've just noticed something. Can you see? This is a Predator 2 figure, isn't it? Yes, because he's got this spear thing, and the flying discs. And what you may have noticed, the eagle-eyed amongst you, is that something's broken off it, and it's that. And I thought, oh, I've lost that for good. But no, at some point when it first broke off, I'd obviously hooked it inside here, in this little flying disc thing. So I've saved it, and it makes him a bit more customised. So yeah, we've got the patterning now, the sort of almost like tiger striped burnished quality to the Predator 2 look. And it's a wonderful figure. These have been revamped many times since, of course, and they're infinitely better now. But you'll find that these ones are actually a damn sight more expensive. Once you've located one, those pesky dealers will charge you a fortune. Now, we've got his spiky bits. They work, so that's all right. This guy actually is not that damaged. It's just that bit that's broken off. He's got all this tribal stuff going on there. Lots of straps, lots of this sort of mesh that goes all over the body. Very sexy. This sort of fishnet effect. It's what all the intergalactic Rastafarian hunters are wearing these days. But he's a good figure. He is a great figure. I love the feet. I mean, the feet are really big and ungainly, aren't they? And they're great big stompers with a little side claw as well. And sort of, well, there's claws going all the way around. Just notice that. There isn't just a side claw. There's claws everywhere. And like the armoured toes as well. You know, I hate sandals. I have a pathological hatred of sandals, and a real, almost unbearable desire to stomp on those squidgy toes which are seen protruding from sandals. I would think twice about doing that to him. Look at those babies, look at them. So, we've got him. Now we've got this guy. Now this guy, again, because of that very rigid sort of pose that they're in, I just realised this guy is also a Predator 2. It's funny how only once I've brought them outside into the sun, believe you me, the sun is there. We're just in the shadow of the Western Wing Conservatory of Kilt-Mansions. And I just realised that these are the Predator 2 figures. So, because again you've got the discs there, again you've got this sort of tiger stripe mottled pattern on him, which is different from the original Predator. And you've got all these strange bits and bobs. Look what he's holding there. What the hell is that? It looks like he's got like Aladdin's boot on the end of that. Like Lord Blackadder, you know. What the hell is that supposed to be? Someone out there will know what that is, but I really do not. And this guy, again, the same sort of mobility, or lack of really. It really does make a difference to be able to swivel, you know, at the hips and the waist. To have that kind of articulation really does change things. The way that these are structured, they are almost more like sculptures than an action figure. No, that's fine, that is fine, because most of the time I'm not doing anything with them. They're just stood there in a pose. But I think if you can swivel the hips and the waist, you can get them into a bit of a better balance, I think. Anyway, this guy is quite clearly damaged, as you can see. Now I've looked and I can't find this figure now. Someone out there go, oh mate, it's everywhere. It's the Predator 2 battle damaged original one, because what you may notice there is half of his mandibles are blown off. I don't remember that happening in the movie. I need to watch Predator 2 again. But, and as you can see, there's blood all over his face. Its blood was on the leaves. I won't say the rest. You know what's coming next. But look at that. So that half his face, half his mandibles have been blown off, and there's a lot of gore all over his face. There's some gore actually splashed on his biceps as well. So, and of course, in Predator 2, he does lose his hand, and its own disc goes into his guts. You know, Harrigan, Danny Glover, manages to put paid to him and earns the respect of the other tribal warriors. But it's weird, isn't it? It's a great sculpt. It is a wonderful face on that, and very unusual. So someone out there, let me know, where is this figure? What is this one? I have not broken those off. I know there's bits and bobs missing from the other ones, but I have not broken that, and you can quite clearly see that it's meant to be like that. So very odd, very odd. Doesn't happen in the film, does it? He doesn't lose his side mandibles, does he? One half of his big jaw, does he? I don't know. But again, you've got these sort of chrome titanium trophies adorning his body. We've got his laser caster, and again you've got you've got some swivelly bits. Now I wonder, some of the later figures you can tuck that in. No, you can't tuck it in, there's nowhere to tuck it into, there's no recess. But it's nice that you can do all this though. And the detailing on the weaponry is great, as you can see there, a lot of it, gorgeous. The dreads with the golden rings, bronze rings around them. Has he got his claws? He's got his claws, yeah, no worries there. So he's a great figure, but I put him on one of my old vintage stands, the ones that I used to make, yeah, because he will not stand up. You watch, he won't stand up even with the stand now. Oh, just behave yourself. Oh, yeah. Doesn't look as good with his legs like that, does he? He looks ridiculous. Where's that tea gone? Bottoms up, y'all. And now we get one of my favourites. Now the damage to this one is that he has a bit of a loose leg. This hip joint is very, very loose. There's things you can do to tighten that up, which I will do, but you know, he doesn't tend to move very much. I can't find him half the time. Now this is the cloaked malfunction one from the first Predator movie. When he comes out the water, Arnie's gone over the waterfall and he's washed up in that big lagoon and he's covered in mud and he crawls up and this thing dives in the water, invisible behind him, and Arnie genuinely looks terrified. Look at his face, he's like that, and he's crawling up, and then this thing comes out the water and it's glitching. His cloaking device, because it's been water soaked, is now glitching and it's all sparked all over him. And that's this guy. I mean, I'm trying to think what you'd look for. I think it's Predator cloaking malfunction, I'm guessing. But if you look, you've got all these blue sparks all over him. And it looks tremendous. I really do like this figure. There's many figures which are cloaking. That's why I can't find the bastards. And but that's my favourite, I think. There's some which are completely translucent, so just completely clear. Well, that's great because that's obviously the idea. But I like this because you can see him, and there's a different sort of tone as well. Some bits are darker, some bits are lighter, and then you've got this sort of blue sparking effect, and it's great. And of course, all this bling, all these trophies and bones and what have you, they're all sort of a white translucent quality as well. Let's just see if his claws are working. Yes, they are. Yeah, his claws are fine. The glitching on the helmet as well, on the mask. Wonderful. Glitching around his wrist controller. Nice grasp of the hand as well. Look at that. It's great. And there's more articulation with this guy. So What's missing though, as you may notice, is the plasma caster from his shoulder. Oh, where the hell's that? Oh, I don't think that's come off. I don't think it was there. Bit odd that, isn't it? Even the birds are going, haha, you got a dud. But regardless, I'm not that bothered because, I mean, it's definitely in that sequence. That is there. He hasn't took it off, I don't think. You know, just for that pursuit. Because he's used it. He's killed half of Arnie's team at that stage. So he's definitely been using it. But it is a great figure, though. The dreads, again. I mean, you've still got the rings going through them, but all you can see really is the blue sparks. It's brilliant. And that sequence alone is fabulous. Arnie, genuinely terrified. And, you know, good acting. He looks genuinely petrified. That's Arnie. Arnie can kill anything. You know, he's taken out armies. He's Conan the Barbarian. He's Commando. You know, he can, by this stage, he could do anything. And then he meets this guy who's took out all his team of super hard commandos. And then he's left alone. But it always makes me laugh, though. You know, you can't see him because Arnie's covered in like that clay mud. And he's there and he's like that. And he's terrified. Just kind of looking, waiting for death. And then he realises, because he can't see him, like, and he, that little warthog thing comes past, or whatever the hell it is, and this dickhead shoots at that, like, and then kicks the log over, and then wind's picked up, and then walks off, like, and Arnie says out loud, "You couldn't see me." "No, but I'm sure he can fucking well hear you." Just, you know, you keep that thought to yourself. In a comic book or in a book, that would be, he thought to himself, "You couldn't see me." You wouldn't say it out loud, would you? Who are you saying it to? Just especially calling him back. Anyway, it's great. I love it. Love it. Love it. So that's the cloaked one. Cloaked Malfunction. Here is the original Arnie figure. I'm going to lay all these bastards down now. Here's the original Arnie figure. Now I've put him on a little diorama of my own concoction. Look at that, look at that. I mean, it needs a bit, it's hardly a jungle, that is it. It's more like something out of Lord of the Rings. In fact, it was made for a Lord of the Rings figure, truth be told. But there's the original Arnie. I'll take him off that stand now. This is a great figure. I love, love, love this figure. The detail on it, the likeness to Arnie is just, I've got Arnie in my hand. I've got a Dutch Arnie in my hand right now. Look at him. And I can see you, by the way, in case you're wondering. Now, woodland camouflage fatigues on. He's got his cargo survival vest on. He's got his knife designed by Jack Crane. He's got his Desert Eagle in there. Both of those weapons come out. He's got his M203, which he holds brilliantly. Brilliantly. One hand totally grips the foe rocket launcher, grenade launcher, and the trigger hand is perfect on it. Love it. Actually, his trigger fingers come out of the air. After me saying that, his fingers just nudged out. Oh no, that'll do, that'll do. But it's great. Look at his face, camouflage, face paint on, looking good. The Vietnam issue jungle boots, yeah. So you've got like, a lot of swivel action down on the ankle, foot turns. Again, you've got far more articulation here. Knee, hip, fantastic. Very, very good stance. Arms, well, you can bring out the Desert Eagle. I'll show you that in a minute. And the Jack Crane knife, but I only ever keep him with that. In the movies, what you'll notice is that most of the commandos are carrying Desert Eagles. Some in shoulder holsters, some down by the hip, but they never use them. No one actually uses one. Arnie does use the Jack Crane survival knife. He does use that. He makes all his traps with it. He certainly uses the hell out of this thing. But fantastic. Now, there's another version of this figure which came out for the 30th anniversary. This is not it. And it's just the same, identical, except I think maybe there's a bit more detail on the face paint, and he's wearing the vest, the camouflage vest underneath the cargo carrying survival vest. West. So yeah, but I like that look because you do see him for like a good section of the movie. He is just he has no vest on. He is just wearing this. So that looks great. That's perfect as far as I'm concerned. I'll show you the weaponry though. The Desert Eagle. You see that? You're probably not picking that up too well, but that looks good. Look like I'm shooting Arnie in the head there. Yeah, a lot of detail on that. And he can hold it, but you know, he doesn't do it in the movie, so why would you do it in this with the figure? And Jack Crane survival knife. It's nice. It's a nice knife. You see, I like that. It's pretty accurate to what you see in the movie. Let's get that back in there. So yeah, he's a great figure, and by far one of my favourite figures. It's just that stance, that pose, you know, that face. That is Arnie's face. That is so good. Shooting the trees. You can see all that tripwires. Maybe you can't see this. You really think that Boy Scout bullshit's gonna work? Maybe instead of complaining, should try helping. Another figure to show you. Don't know who made this, but I'm guessing that it was like Mezco or someone. Look at this guy, and this guy is damaged. This guy's been through the wars. Look at that. Standing what? 12 inches? Is that 12 inches? Hold on a second. Let me use my measuring stick. Yeah, I think actually it's over 12 inches, but you've got some articulation. There's some. I mean, you've got a bit of a hip swivel, but again, you've not got anything in the waist. Oh, you have. You have. I tell a lie. The waist does twist. Arm. You've got very limited sideways sort of action. Very limited indeed. Elbows do swivel. The fist does move. The head moves very slightly. Plasma cannon, exceptionally well detailed. But it only goes up and down. Or is it gonna make me a liar again? Yeah, I've got a couple of hinges on that, so you can swivel it. You can get a different sort of, you know, directionality out of it. But lots of bones and trophies, which are all very well detailed on the proper, like, sort of stringy rope cord as well. Lots of detail on the mesh work and the armour. Sadly, what you may have noticed, of course, is that well, there's only one of his wrist spikes. I've just pulled the tip off it. Let's pull that back. I'm not bothered. I mean, this I'm going to customize this so that it looks absolutely battered. He's gone through the wars. I mean, as you can see as well, I mean, the elephant in the room is the fact he's missing a hand. Oh yes, of course. Oops a daisy. And I remember that hand was in like a kind of like, it was like that, you know, a big sort of clawed, you know, sort of thing, and it's gone. You can see how it fitted in. It's just a little ball socket there, but nicely on this as well. Hang on a minute, come on, you can flip that up and you've got the countdown, you know, oh, 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 oh. And then it goes and Arnie's going, taking a long time to realise, hang on a minute, sounds like a self-destruct. Better shift my big Austrian oak arse. But that's good, isn't it? Nice little flip top on that. So, but again, I can't find, like, normally it's on the feet, isn't it, where you get the maker, and I can't find who it is anywhere. There's nothing. Extras wise, I don't know. I'm pretty certain that never came with a helmet. I mean, look, because look at the face, and man, look at the face, look at that. That is amazing, isn't it? Isn't that beautiful? I hope you're picking that up. And look at the real extended mandibles. It juts out like that. detail on their head, the dreads. I mean, the dreads, there's some separation at the ends of the dreads, but most of it is, they're clubbed together, but it's in a particular pose, as you can see, so they're meant to look like that, and it looks fantastic. It is just a bloody big shame that I've managed to lose that hand and wreck his spikes. Damn it. Look at the fist though. Let's see if you can see the fist. That's it. Arnie. Boom! Because he seems to learn how to punch. Arnie gives him a massive backhand, doesn't he? And he's going with his mandibles. And then he starts going boof, boof, boof with that massive alien predatory fist, knocking Arnie all over the jungle. I've just realised there's a little slide thing which is meant to bring those spikes out. Oh well. I've clearly gone like that and then snapped them off. Kids, you know, should look after your toys, because in later life, if they're rare, they will look after you. But it's a good figure, an amazing figure. So I think a little bit of customising will take place on that. I'll have all blood smeared, green blood smeared all over that. Put a bit more, I don't know. But it looks great. And that's clearly, well, I was going to say final fight, but the final fight, he's already took the cannon off, hasn't he? So it's not quite right there either. But he is definitely from the first movie. What the hell are you? Well, I'm not an ugly motherfucker like you, mate. I mean, some might argue, but... So there you go, folks. That's a little tour of some of the figures. I will show you another one, which is fantastic. And looking at all the stuff that these guys wear and thinking about all their weaponry, their tribal bling, I think I might do a little video analysing all the bits that they wear and a compare and contrast. There is in the figure range, because you can get so many figures, you know, of these. They're from the comics, they're from the games, offshoot characters, and obviously all the franchise movies. So there's a lot of different Predator characters you can get. Although there's not many hero characters, though, to be honest. Like, there's only Arnie, isn't there? But it'd be great to get Billy, and to get oh god, get Blaine with the minigun. And who else could we have? You could have Hawkins with the great big bloody glasses. You could have Poncho, you know, a battered up Poncho. I can make it. I can make it. And obviously, Mac and Dylan. You could have Dylan with his arm missing. So variations there. Why haven't they brought these figures out? You could have a great diorama of the Predator lifting, you know, Dylan up in the air like that, and Dylan's going, his arm like that, going, ah. And as a little accessory for an ultimate figure, you'd have the MP5 in his hand, his gloved hand, and the severed stump. Why don't you do that? Why haven't you brought out all those other figures? There's hundreds, literally hundreds of Predator figures. So why not bring out some of the other characters? I don't know. But yeah, I might do sort of, I'll compare what, like a Highland version. How would a Highlander go against that? And I'll do a comparison. Because there's a lot of, the way that you dress, when I've got the kilt on now, I've got the Royal Stewart on. And I have to wear belts and stuff like. And when you get fully kitted out and you've got your sporran on, I've got other belts, and you get your sock flashes on, the appropriate sock flashes, the over-shoulder plaid fly, your skiing do, yeah, your little dagger, your wee Scottish dirk that lives down the side of your sock, all that sort of stuff, and loads of other bits and bobs, your waistcoat, everything, you know, your Argyle, your Glengarry hat. I'm just trying to think, a Celtic version. Because there is a Celtic Predator, and I'm not sure what that's from, whether it's just a background character or what, but there's a Celtic Predator. But I don't think he looks particularly Scottish, you know, and I'm not saying that, but it's probably more Viking than anything else. But yeah, I might do that. We'll analyse what the gear is, and the opposite number for a Highland warrior going against him. Ideas, ideas. It's what the world is built out of. So folks, anyway, hope you enjoyed that little tour around some of these guys. They're all battle damaged in some way, as you can see. Apart from Arnie, as it happens. Arnie's the one who's actually come out unscathed. But anyway, folks, I have been and always shall be Kilt-Man. So please, keep it kilted, keep it Celtic, and watch out for predators. And I'm going to see you all laters.